Hey everybody, welcome back to Moincruft. This is Solinus Dracone, also known as Alex, and I'm just sort of taking a little bit of a side project here. I'm still working on the water slide, and that's actually going to take a fair bit of time, although fair is fair. I should go ahead and at least show you how I've been working on the water slide. I have not been sticking to my little goal of just letting the sand pile up as it will, because as I sort of kind of remember, that took a very long time, and you know what? It's a needless amount of a long time. Now you can see here that I've been definitely made a bit of progress on the whole water slide thing. I've definitely gotten it up fairly high, and I'm still going. I'm not quite at the clouds yet. I intend to just go to the top of the map because I'm crazy like that. But I have changed around a little bit how I started working on the water slide, so I'm going to show how I've been doing that. I've been going all hollow, basically, and following the same pattern, just kind of dropping 7 blocks of the polished sandstone and then resting a sea lantern on top. And what I've also been doing is just putting a little bit of a layer of dirt underneath all that. And I'd show you how I'm kind of doing that right now, but I'm sure you can get the idea. If you just look at how I've been doing it, just taking a look inside this whole lighted area, it's all been the same. I've just been piling up as I have. So, I mean, you should be able to work out for yourself how I've been doing that. Just every time I set up a new layer of sandstone, a new row, a new column of 7 blocks by however long it takes to get down, I'll just put another row of these dirt blocks all the way up to the level of where the sand currently is, and then just build on top of that. So that's nothing absolutely interesting. I'm going to keep doing that. That's still going to be a project that I'm working on long term, but I thought it fair to just let everybody know how it's going and the direction I've taken with it. So it's going to be top of the map all the way to down to the bedrock. So it's going to be awesome. Now I decided I'm going to do another take on one of my other projects, and you're kind of sort of seeing it appearing in the background now. What it is it's going to be a switch activated waterfall, basically. Now you can build this waterfall up just as absolutely high as you want it, but I've gotten it up to the height that I've got it at mainly for the purposes of you still want to be able to see it very easily when the water starts dripping down from the ground. And so let me kind of show you how the construction of this went. First off, the structure of the waterfall. Now you're making a stair basically all the way up to the top of just really however high you want to go with this sort of a thing. And inside you'll see here that what I've done is I've got a redstone circuit that I'm running from indoors that I'm just kind of running it up the steps, and what I do is I just run it up the steps until it kind of runs out of, sparkles there. As soon as the redstone's no longer sparkling, it's completely lost its pizzazz and it's not carrying a charge anymore. So I lay down a redstone repeater. Very important that, the 2 pegs over here, the part with the peg right there is facing this way. Otherwise it will not continue to carry the circuit. Like, for instance, if I went ahead and placed a redstone repeater facing this direction, that's it. The stuff is dark all the rest of the way up. But if you make sure it's facing the way that the circuit's taking, then you can just pretty much, take it up as high as you want. Doesn't really matter at all how you stagger it here, just so long as you keep the redstone circuit unbroken all the way to the top. As soon as it starts to lose a little bit of its juice, like right there, then you can just put another redstone repeater and keep on. Now, you'll notice that I built a sort of a channel in through the rock here, and that's simply because I wanted to give my redstone a nice clean path all the way around to the other side, which is where the next part of this goes. Now, back here is where it starts to get a little bit complicated, in that you've got to be ready to allow for how redstone circuitry works. Now, I've got here 8 sticky pistons here. They are definitely sticky. If I go over here, you see it's sticky. It has to be sticky because of the fact that when it goes down, you want the block to go down with it. And this is going to be sort of the hopper, where I keep the water. And as you can see here, I've put in just for temporarily a little bit of a row of dirt just to hold it in. I'm going to time set to 0 just because I want to keep the light going. And the whole idea here is I want the water to fall out in such a manner that it will completely coat the waterfall as it goes down. Now this is uncompleted. This is as of this moment, this is uncompleted. But, you know, I'm just kind of explaining some of the redstone mechanics here, and believe me, I couldn't find another way to do this. With all the different redstone options we have available, the comparator is not of much use. It's just for when you're trying to do some advanced circuitry with delays and whatnot, and I'm just not out to do any delays on this. So part of the mechanism here that I've set up is you'll notice that I've got, you know, one redstone repeater set up here just feeding into another redstone line, and I staggered in some repeaters there. And why did I do that? Well, if you try to do a redstone like this, you're going to have all sorts of issues here, basically. Like, for instance, I just went ahead and did this. I've got pretty much just an unbroken circuit of all redstones. Now, I'm going to go down into the house, which is where I put the switch, and watch, I bet you anything that it's really not going to have much effect. I mean, it very well may, but I haven't noticed it. So I'm switching the switch right there, and when I switch the switch, because that's connected through an underground tunnel, I'll show you that in a minute, that does turn off all the redstone, and as you'll notice, these are all basically descended. So, you know, I'm going to go back down again. Right now, these are in the descended position. I'm going to go back down and flip the switch again, and we're going to see if that puts them back up. I could be very wrong in how I'm explaining redstone and how I understand it, so this is a learning experience for me too. So remember, they were in the descended position, and now I'm just going to go back up to the top of the waterfall. And as you can see, they are all still in the descended position. So it will not work if you do it this way. This will just lead to absolutely nothing happening if you do it that way. So just as I had done, simply toss in a redstone repeater every other space, and you'll see that they operate as they should. So yes, that my science is sound on this one. So that gets us the redstone mechanism that we need. Just the whole, when we flip the switch, then the sticky pistons will drop back down and release the water that I'm going to be putting in overhead. Now you're going to pretty well notice that this is a very, very, very blocky, bulky, ugly looking apparatus that's sitting at the top of the waterfall there. And I really had no other choice in this matter here, because you require so much space to get the redstone circuit working properly. You know what, I don't even need this to be here. So that's cool. I get to make it slightly less ugly. I just couldn't possibly have made it work with any less space being taken up. If I put even one redstone spot right there, it's not going to hurt much, but it's also not going to help. I need there to be, and honestly, it doesn't even have to be there. It's just that that's how far the redstone circuit went. It peters out, like I said. So we're just putting that repeater there because that's going to serve as our, final source of power that feeds into the whole circuit. So once again, you got to stagger it. If you want pistons to be right next to each other, you have to stagger it in this fashion. Otherwise, they will not function the way you want them to, and it'll be a mess. So as you can see, I had cut that whole channel through here, basically. I just set up the framework. At first, that's all I really did. I just set up the framework, and then I filled in the rest of the blocks just so that it wouldn't look quite so ugly, quite so bulky, quite so nasty. But in the end, we do have to have it set up this way. Now, we don't have to have this part here out into open air. I could just go ahead and put another layer of blocks on like that. And just, I can't do that. We'll get to redstone interruption in just a bit, but, I can cover this up if I want to, just for it to look less ugly. So I can do that, yeah, that's fine. But the main problem is that it just makes it bulky and ugly and nasty and just a pain. So, that's, you kind of have to come to terms with the fact that you are going to have an ugly, bulky apparatus at the top over here, and there's just no way around it. It has to be that way. There's just no physical way possible in Minecraft to make it not work. Now then, to some more of how the structure was designed. You'll notice that each step here has at least 3 bricks above it. Oi, weather. Do not have time for rain right now. So anyways, you'll notice that the way that I've staggered it is that I've made sure to have at least 3 blocks above, not counting the actual level itself, and there's a good reason for that too. Unfortunately, you are not able to set this up effectively with out at least a minimum of that kind of clearance, and here's why. When I start to fill in the blocks here, because you obviously have to cover this up. You cannot have water running over redstone. It'll just bust up the circuit. It's done. It's gone. So what you got to do in this case is, you got to cover it up. So I'm going to start covering up, but then you'll notice, unfortunately, that right here where this corner block is touching, the redstone circuit is broken. There's absolutely nothing I can do about that. And I want it to be this chiseled stone because I like the way that chiseled stone looks. Now, you can get around this by using slabs, but you have to be kind of careful about how the slabs go. And unfortunately, the slabs might look a little bit funny with water going over them. I could use stone slabs, but the point is I wanted it to be chiseled stone all the way down. I wanted it to have a nice uniform look. Feel free to try the slab trick. If you lay slabs over the top, you can be a little bit less, bulky with the setup there. But in the end, you are going to run into problems because you cannot put a slab like this directly over the redstone circuit. So be my guest if you want to experiment, but this is the way that I've always had to do it. So you'll notice if I put the blocks in over this way, keeping concurrent with the current top of the stair, so to speak, that there is a nice cover over the redstone, and it does not pinch it off at all. And that's the most important part there, that you cannot pinch it off. You do have to have this headspace here in order to allow the God, it's getting loud in my headset there. I had to turn it down. In order to allow the redstone the room it needs to breathe. So in the end, when I'm just done, putting on the cover here, then we can get to the next part. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick moment to, I'm just going to go ahead and cover this up because I have completed my structure, and so I will skip at this point. So, you'll rejoin me when I'm at the bottom there and moving on to how I set up the circuit to run in under the house. So, be right back. Okay, and I'm back. Now, pretty much just covered it all up all the way down to the bottom of the stair. And so, from the perspective of the person watching, whoever flips the switch, they would not necessarily have any idea that there's a redstone circuit going up through there. It's all completely covered. Now I'm going to just quickly demolish out this row of blocks and also this one. Better put those there just to help remember my spot. And I'm going to take a moment to just sort of dive underground into how I went about putting the channel into my house. Now you'll notice that I took a bit of a stagger here because I do have other plans that I'm going to be doing with the waterfall here to try and control its water flow. And so for the way I brought it, I brought the redstone circuit out to where it is basically here. I made it turn left and creep up here so that way, basically once I've gotten this part covered here, I intend to dig out a trench around the whole waterfall. And of course we can't have it going down as deep as where the redstone circuit is, because that's going to break the circuit. So this point right here is going to be where we draw the line. We just put this in here, and that'll be that. That's going to be the way that gets capped off. So I'm just going to hold off on that for right now to show you how I cut the channel in under my house. Now, first things first, you do want to get down deep enough so that way you, like I said, you have the ability to cover this up if you need to. So just be mindful of that, kind of try to get it down so that, your trench, if you are trying to control your water like I'm going to be trying to control it, so that your trench is taken care of. Now, what I've got under here is really just a basic no-frills, run-of-the-mill redstone circuit, and what I did was I ran it up to this switch that I have in the house. And as you can see, I've just kind of taken the redstone circuit starting here and just, did the repeater where necessary to just keep up that constant flow. So time is getting away from us here. So knowing how I set it up underneath there, then I'm just going to go ahead and cover this whole bit up here. And it's perfectly okay to do it this way. And obviously I'm going to want to cover up my my circuit again there, so boop, right there. And that way nobody's the wiser on the fact that there is a redstone circuit that is running underneath all this structure. I might as well go ahead and start digging out my ditch at this point because, well, I'll do that in a minute. So, the idea here is that if everything has been set up successfully, then with the switch that we've put in our house, which you don't have to do it this way. I did it this way simply because, it's the most convenient and easy for me. But if you are going to be trying to put a switch in a little bit fancier of a location, like let's say on the top of the house, so you can have a nice little moment to flip the switch from the top of the house and see the waterfall start to flow down, you're welcome to it, but it's really going to be more of a pain in the butt to put that up there, and you're going to have sort of an ugly thing coming up out of the side of your house there. So, in this case here, I've done this for a purpose. So, what we're going to do now is, seeing as the circuit's already safe, it's completely enclosed, no water that comes out is going to possibly touch the circuit and harm it, I am going to go ahead and fill in the water. So I've got, like I said, the hopper is up here basically, and as again, I have put in sticky pistons down there, so that way when the pistons are lifted and lowered, then these blocks that are being used to hold the water in will take them with it. So I'm also going to get rid of this right here, and that was just sort of a stopper, because this, when the pistons are lowered, is going to be where the water flows from. So let me just fill up the water all the way here, and there you go, nice lovely water filled. Now, I am going to mention, this is worth noting, that I made sure that the way that this is constructed, that when the water starts flowing out, it is going to hit a corner block, and that's very important for the fact that if you just want to put water here, it's just going to flow in one direction. And that's just the way that the water mechanics, unfortunately, were set to work on this latest version of Minecraft, is that they're really weird about flowing in the directions you want. But you'll notice if you put it on the corner there, then it'll actually start to kind of, come out. Now, I'm hoping that things are going to work out the way that I planned for them to work out. But if they don't, then I'm prepared for that. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and cover that little bit in, because there's no reason not to. And, maybe I'll just put in that bit of stair. No, that messes me up. No, just forget it. Gonna leave it be. That does create the conundrum that, unfortunately, we have to keep things the way we want them to be. So, let me go ahead and I'm just gonna flip the switch in the house, and we're gonna see how that works out. Now, hopefully we flip the switch, the pistons all will retract into the lowered position, and there you see the water is starting to flow out. Now, it's flowing fine in the middle here, but unfortunately it's not flowing as well as I would have liked it to have flowed otherwise. So, yeah, you can kind of see where I've got a little bit of a conundrum going on here. But let's just try... Yeah, let's fill this in here. And then right there. And I think that does the trick. Basically, I'm just letting the... Let me go turn off the water there. Boop. Yep. Actually, this is a good moment just for, the purpose of doing it, is to sort of dig the spots where my little ditch is going to be, where my little trench is going to be. Because, as you can see, the water's flowing up right to the doorstep, and that's just not going to work out for me. I don't know why I just closed the door. I have no need to. So flipping the switch off, and that will have the sticky pistons going back up into their extended position, which is blocking off the water flow. So the water will have a nice, lovely little dropping effect there. And while that's going down, I might as well just go ahead and finish out digging my ditch. Why not? It's really hard to keep yourself under control while you're underwater, so just do your best. I'm simply going to be digging out the ditch, so that way when I do flip the switch, I have a nice, very well under control water flow there. Oi, oi, oi. Okay, and the same deal goes here. Just dig it around the base of the waterfall. Come on. This is, the engineering of the whole situation. It just can be a little bit of a pain in the butt there. But by doing this, you do control the way the water flows. It'll just flow down in there and it will not make a mess around things. So, okay. Just to kind of reiterate, what you want to do is you want to get you want to get it so that the water's flowing out level and that there's a corner for it to flow off of. Just when it comes out through this, through the hoppers here, god damn it, weather. When it flows out through the hoppers here, then it's going to make a nice little sort of a pattern and fall over the sides, which, you want it to look like a proper waterfall. You don't want it to just be another water slide that's radio controlled or that's switch controlled. One thing I will note, you'll see here that I'm using an oak wood slab here just because I've got, dark oak wood floors. And the reason for that is because you can get away in most circumstances with just putting a top brick there. If I put it on the bottom portion, then basically I'm just, I'll see. Now, how that works, I don't know. But watch this. Somehow it is still making it down. Let me double check this. Wow, okay. So, I'm curious to see what happens if I were to put a brick right there. Apparently, and that's useful to note, that if a switch is right on top of a block, then it will charge that whole block and you'll be fine. So great, we just learned something together. So let me just go ahead and make my thing pretty again then. Boop, boop. And I like that better. Actually because, that's just a surreptitious little switch in the ground there. No worries, no nothing. It's just a fancy little switch that's in a little hole in the ground. So, if you want to be pedantic about it, if you want to just, really get uppity about it, you can build a little bit of a fence around it there just to keep yourself from falling in. And sure, why not? I'll do that. Okay, so, this place is well cordoned off. So, the waterfall, as you can see here, is, because we've switched it off and on a couple times, it's already falling down, but it's not making a mess. So, the effect really would be so much better if I could get right out. So, you know what, I might just make a door over here. Yeah, I'll just put a door in. Why not? That's not a door, obviously. But, I just want to be able to quickly get out and see how my waterfall's doing. So, flip the switch, walk right on out, and look at that. The water flows from the top in a lovely, beautiful ribbon all the way down to the ground. And as you can see from the way that the water is arranged, that it's covering everything, it's coating. Like, it just has a nice, lovely, organic feel to it. And as you can see, the ditch at the bottom is keeping things from getting out of hand. If I put something there, that would be fine. But if I put something here, that would potentially cause it to overflow. We would have issues. So I'm fine just leaving the ditch as it is. Now, I could go even further and be even stupider and keep digging down all the way to the ground and let it fall through. But, honestly, it's not worth it at that point. So, really would be great to have a switch at the top here so you can kind of see when you flip the switch that it actually goes through. And I can work on doing something like that. I'll see if there's a way to jank up sort of a vertical shaft using these here redstone lights, and just maybe make a chimney of some sort. That would actually be pretty cool. But that's just making it pretty. That's not making the actual waterfall itself. What I wanted to do was share with you how I made the waterfall. So once again, you just build a nice staircase up, and you want your staircase to be, 4 high at each ascending level. So that way you have plenty of room to cover up your redstone circuitry that's underneath. You want to be mindful of how redstone circuitry works, so that way you avoid doing certain things like running out of circuitry and then you don't have any space at the top. And then, of course, again, up at the top where the whole mechanism is going on, where everything is actually occurring, there is the redstone circuit staggered in this manner. So, you've got redstone touching it, repeater touching it, redstone, repeater, and that's how you can get these pistons next to each other and actually going all at the same time. So I hope that this was enjoyable for someone to watch here. It's certainly one of my prouder projects that I've done in the past, and again, it is one that I have done in the past. So, recreating it on an even grander scale, now that I have a little bit more experience and creativity in having done it before, it's a pleasure to kind of share with you how it went. So let's just take a moment to enjoy the nighttime with what we have built thus far. The as of yet unfinished water slide, the more or less finished switch controlled waterfall, lovely sunset in the background, and again, just go over here, flip the switch, and you'll see that the water starts, descending back down and fading away into nothing. So what looks like just a staircase to nowhere is actually a beautiful waterfall. By the way, I do have one of the Moincruft texture packs installed just because I think it looks nice. But, you don't have to do that. That's completely optional. The redstone circuitry, the physics of water, they all work the same no matter what texture pack you're using. So as we watch the water descending down, take a moment to think on what a wonderful game this is. It gives you so much capability. It gives you so much option to use your imagination, and with such simple mechanics, you can build something that, some folks may conventionally call beautiful. And heck, if you want to build a little if you want to build a little fence around your ditch there to make sure nobody falls in, hell, do what you want. I'm not OSHA. And now the rain starts falling. So, thank you very much for watching. I am Alex, also known as Solinus Dracone, and this has been Moincruft. Have a good evening.